Here's the third thing that I wrote down. What would I track right now to get back on track? This is where the meat of this call is going to go. I would take notes right now. Number one, I would look at the last 30 days and I would look at any data that you have access to. Okay. Like the easiest one would be to look at your calendar. So the first thing that I would do is I would write down every single time I met with a client, even if it was twice, right? Or even if it was for an inspection, even if it was for a third showing, I would just look at the calendar and I would say, this is the number of times I met with clients this month. And I would write that number down. So let's say that's 20 times you met with a client in a month, once per day, give or take, assuming you don't work weekends, right? Or maybe you don't do meetings on Monday or Tuesdays. So I met with somebody 20 times last month. Doesn't mean you had 20 clients. It just means you had 20 in-person clients. Then the second thing that I would write down is how many times did I execute a contract? Here's what I consider a contract: a buyer agreement, a buyer purchase contract, irregardless of whether it was accepted or negotiated, a listing contract, and inbound contracts because of a listing that I have. I'll give that to you again. A buyer rep agreement, a buyer purchase agreement, irregardless of whether it got accepted or negotiated, a listing agreement, or an inbound offer from one of your listings. Those are the 4 agreements that I would track. And you're going to say, okay, well, I wrote or touched a total of 31 contracts this month based on 20 meetings, right? Maybe you have a listing and you got like 7 offers. That would be 7 contracts. And then you're going to say, how many times did I go under contract? Meaning I went in escrow. Marjorie, if you're watching this, I know you don't use those terms, but whatever you, attorney review for all of you East Coasters out there that do real estate backwards. It's probably a better process than what we do out here. But every time that we go into attorney review or escrow, how many times does that happen, right? Maybe that's like 3 to 5 times. And then every time we go into escrow or attorney review, how many times do we get paid? So, and the reason why I'm giving you those stats right now, I know you were probably thinking like Steve's going to talk about calls and dials and answers and appointment set. And the answer would be yes. But if you don't have that technology installed right now to track that, like you can't get on this call and say, well, let me go figure out where my baseline is, because you can't track it. So if you're not always already tracking that stuff right now, don't do it. Now, the cool thing about tracking in-person meetings versus contracts versus attorney reviews, escrows versus closings is because whether you track that data or not, you can go find it, right? Right now, if you're super unorganized, you could probably go find that data. It'd probably take you a couple hours. And now you're like, okay, I can come up with a metric now to where how many times do I literally just need to meet with somebody in person to get paid? That's the number that I'm looking at right now. So if you're off on your goal, take the metrics that I just gave you right there and align those with the goal that you wanted. And then ask yourself, like, sorry, I missed the contracts you missed. I'll give it to you again, Shane. If you establish, okay, well, I had 20 meetings, that involved 31 contracts, that involved 4 deals that went under contract in attorney review or escrow, and that resulted in 3 transactions. And that 3 transactions is my goal. Now I know if to hit my big goal, I need to get 20. I need to get 20 appointments per month, 12 months straight to hit my goal. Now, of course, we have Thanksgiving and Christmas and holidays and Hanukkah and all that stuff. So you need to factor that into it. The contracts, Shane, were buyer agreements, listing agreements, purchase contracts written, purchase contracts received on a listing, all of them, irregardless of the outcome. Just total number of agreements that you touch in a month. Because we can't do anything without agreements. It's crazy how many people don't understand this, right? If you're not touching agreements multiple times a week, chances are you're struggling right now. Doesn't matter who wrote them. You could write them. It could be from another agent submitting to you. But if you are not touching agreements on almost a daily basis right now, you're probably struggling. So we need to talk about that, right? So once you understand that, we need to marry that number with the goal, and we're either ahead, at, or trending behind that goal, and then we just adapt accordingly. Now, how do we get that more nuclear from that? How do we get that smaller from that? Well, then at that point, I would track how many times we were on the phone, how many times, if you're using a Keep or a Just Call or a Air Call, and all that tracks it for you. Great. All we have to do is historically go look at the month. So now we're moving the stat one time backwards. Well, we know we need 20 in-person meetings. We know we need to touch 31 contracts. We know we need to go under contract 4 times, and we know we need to close 3. Now what we need to do is we need to keep moving backwards. How many people do I need to talk to get an in-person meeting? Okay, now we know that number. It's probably going to be somewhere around 50, something like that. And then how many people do we need to dial to get to 50 conversations? It's probably going to need to be 175. I don't know what the number is, right? It's different in every single market. But I wouldn't start building sheets and tickers or anything manual. I would just look at technology and say, what could I use right now? And just by using this piece of technology, it would automatically give me clarity over how I'm building my business. Again, solo agent, mega team, it's all the same. What's the technology that I would look for? You guys already know what I would do. I would do AirCall, Just Call, and Keep, or just the new Keep Max version all by itself. That will give you all the tracking that you need. You don't have any right in your business to make any decisions whatsoever until you track the data. So some of you guys are sitting on a business that you could double right now if you had access to the data. No more lead sources, no more additional Zillow, no more pay-per-click, no more Facebook. If you just had access to the data, and I know most of you on this call right now know that if you just did your job for an hour and a half a day, 5 days a week, you could double your business. How many of you guys believe that to be true? Yes or no in chat. If all you did was did your job an hour and a half every single day for 5 days a week, 20 days a month, you could double your business right now. Easily. I mean, listen, like 90% of my follow-up for every venture that I'm involved in, and I'm involved in a few, it's email, SMS, and Vidyard video emails. The call is only a result of the email, SMS, and Vidyard videos. And I've told you guys this before. If you ever see me at my son's practice, it's 5 nights a week. I've got my little beach chair on the side of the soccer field, and I've got my iPad right here, and I've got my phone in my hand, and I'm just filming Vidyard videos on my phone, sending intro emails, and send. And I probably do a good 10 every single night. Right? This is from 4:30 to 6:30 every single night, because I know when I'm over there, I don't have all the distractions of everything here in the office. It's just me, my water bottle, if I'm being disciplined that day, which most days I'm not, my iPad and my phone. And I'm just, and it's loud in the environment. There's people in the background. I don't care. We just send those, and people have become very used to me sending those Vidyard emails because that's a very easy way. And the only reason why I'm sending all those video emails is to tee up the next 3 days of appointments that I need to have. Right? That's it. I'm not cold calling. I don't call through a list. I don't do any of that. I think that without video, I'd probably have to call a lot, but video for me is my big equalizer. I don't mean this type of video. I mean literally video on Vidyard on my phone is the big equalizer for me, because what I figured out is the more that I do that, the easier my calls go and the more calls that I set. So once you know the numbers, now you know, okay, well, I thought I had to generate 90 leads this month. If you guys were on the ISA call, I think it was this weekend or maybe it was on Friday, you know that to get a full-time ISA, you need 300 leads. Like, that's just the number that you need. If you want instant results, you could give an ISA 30 to 100 leads a month, and it's going to take you months to make that profitable. You have 300 leads a month, and you have an ISA that is legit calling every single day, you will have results instantly. Somebody asked me on Sunday, what's the difference between an ISA and an agent? You want to know what it is? Megan, that's a great question. Megan says, is this just an introductory video for your existing leads? No, it's not. Well, you could kind of look at that. It's just in place of me sending normal video. And I ask everybody to meet with me. Everybody. Hey, Megan, Steve Olson, face to the name. Just wanted to send you a video. For me, this is a little easier. Thank you so much for doing this. I've got some time open tomorrow. What does your schedule look like? Or below this video in the email, I'll give you a link and you can pick a time on your schedule. If I don't hear from you, I'll reach out to you in a couple days, all right? Boom, send the video. I open a Keep, I apply a task, and I move on to the next one. I literally don't think about it. I just work my way down the list every single day. And for me, because I'm a drummer, the rhythmic side of business, like I do very well with things I need to do every single day. That stuff's really easy for me. I'm a creature of habit, I guess you would say. So not thinking about it and just working my way down the list is what I do, every single day, and that's totally easy. On the consulting side, on the referral business side, it's the same thing we do for every single thing that we do. And I used to be a crazy caller. I love that stuff. I love calling. I don't have the time to do it right now. I don't have the patience for it anymore. So if you don't have access to the tracking, you can't make any decisions. Like, you literally can't do it. Don't do it. It will kill you, right? Because you're going to change something and you're not going to know why it worked. You don't want to do that. Okay.